Hello everyone, my name is Hassan. Today I'm going to talk about a classroom assessment technique called Pro and Con Grid. I'm going to share my experience about this amazing CAT with you, so please stay tuned with me. CATs are different in purpose from other standard assessment techniques. CATs are simple, non-graded and formative type of in-class activities that are mainly used to provide important feedback on the teaching learning process as it is happening. Since there are more than 50 types of classroom assessment techniques, and not all are going to fit to all classes or subjects, you must make a list of CATs that will suit your purpose. You need a thorough understanding on the curriculum you are following, such as the learning outcomes of a particular issue. For instance, while learning business strategies, students need to evaluate a given strategy, and while doing so, they must come out with a possible list of advantages and disadvantages of that strategy and recommend an action in terms of acceptance, modification, or rejection. That needs classroom assessment techniques that will really provoke the higher order thinking process among the learners. Therefore, I prefer activities like pro and con grade while teaching this type of strategy issues where students need to make wise decisions. Also, a good idea as suggested by Fenwick and Parsons to involve the students in deciding the CAT that most of them are comfortable with. Students might be urged to rank different methods. By analyzing the results, the teacher may then introduce the most popular CAT in the class. What is a pro and con grade? Here, students are supplied with an issue or a very brief case study with some information, and they are asked to list some possible advantages and disadvantages of a business decision or economic phenomenon that is mentioned in the case. The grid looks for simple words or small sentences, not detailed explanation. This table shows an estimation of the level of time and effort required to conduct the pro and con grid activity. Generally speaking, it takes little effort from both the faculty to prepare and students to respond to this activity. However, result analysis may require a moderate effort from the instructor. Higher order thinking skill that can be flourished by a CAT like Pro and Con grade is actually an integrated skill consists of analytical and evaluation skills, ability to draw inferences, to make ethical choices, and to make logical decisions. So an exercise like Pro and Con grade may actually recall all these skills together. Let me give you a comprehensive example here. We need to follow certain steps consistently while using Pro and Con grade in our classes. Number one, we need to design a small case study that contains a specific business situation. And number two, we need to prompt a really thought-provoking question that would elicit thoughtful pros and cons in relation to this issue. And then also in number three, we need to provide proper direction to the students on the expected form of the answer. Say for example, I have just completed a lesson on relocation, which is a popular business strategy. Then I give a break, and after the break, I welcome the students to a very brief activity involving the pro and cons analysis of a particular issue. I supply the students with a brief case study. This material is prepared, printed, and copied well before the class schedule. For example, there was a relocation issue with Walmart Chilliwack that I found to be really interesting for conducting a pro and con grid activity in my class. The issue is given here with very brief information, followed by the prompt asking the students clearly to brainstorm some pros and cons of this relocation decision, specifically from the marketing and costing point of view. What I also do, I supply a copy of this kind of grid to a student. It's good to have this because it graphically communicates the idea of the whole activity with the students. Have a look, all the ideas are given in the grid. Even though the grid on the previous slide tells most of the story, I do provide the direction verbally. This clears out any kind of information gap if there is any. It talks about the time, answer format, or what to focus on in making additional comments, and the real intention and nature of the assessment. To ensure that the students assign proper value to this activity, I always emphasize on the intention of bringing this kind of activities in the class and how it could help them learn effectively. Check this out. Um, while analyzing and sharing the result, I always focus on these areas in case of similar exercises. Each observation here will tell you different story from different perspectives. The second last observation, for example, will tell you whether a student mentioned a point based on her understanding or simply by memorizing. So later you may draw attention of the students to the fact that memorization in this case will be of no use. It is essential for them to understand the issue. Reading between the lines, sometimes the result speaks more loudly than we usually hear. What I mean is that there is always a big story often hidden behind numerical figures. A teacher needs to analyze not only how have the students performed, but also why they performed like this. Perhaps this is the most important motive behind taking this kind of activity in class. Average performance is a good indicator of any kind of absurdity that may exist in terms of validity and reliability of the activity or ineffective teaching methods. Now, let us see what are the practices that may bring the best result from this kind of activity in class. If we carefully plan the activity in terms of timing, wording, and content, it will definitely bring out the best result. In addition to this, a teacher should always show a respect to a response, be it irrelevant or to a certain extent weird. That is the objective of this activity, to find out any kind of anomaly in learning and providing feedback to the students so that they can improve in that area. And this is also a good idea to ask the students to justify some of the points and listen to them carefully. This may reveal many interesting scenarios. Let us talk about some of the advantages of this pro and con grade. I have always found this grade really banging on the target, and the target of furnishing the higher order thinking skill of the learners. Students like the freedom of expression that it carries, and I plan my lessons for the next classes on the basis of the result that I get from such activity in previous classes. And it is also important that you track down the thinking process of the students, and that is how you guide them to be on the right track, and that's exactly what this kind of activity can do for you. Some of the problems that I found while adopting the pro and con grade in my class, one of them is that the students try to think too simply about a given complex issue. Business issues are always complex, as you all know. So in the way of doing that, they miss something that they must consider to evaluate the whole thing. And this happens because of the oversimplification tendency of the activity itself. And I was also deeply frustrated while I tried this grade once in a class of 40 students. The response was so dynamic that it really took a tremendous effort from me to find out a real trend. I mean, what's going on. At the end of the day, uh, this pro and con grid is an excellent informal assessment technique that has the unquestionable potential to track down the thinking process of the learners. However, it demands for a significant commitment from the instructor in terms of planning, executing, and providing feedback to the students. Therefore, I would strongly recommend this technique for every instructor with a continuous drive for generating results among their students. Okay, that would be all. Thank you very much for your time and for listening to me. Here are some references I have given for your own references. You may check this